Hello, everyone. So good to see that you guys are back. My name is Otilia Teuton, and this is Managing Anxiety Naturally, Part 3 for Contra Costa Health Plan. So thank you, everybody who is joining, and keep coming back every session. Very nice to see all of you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me start the presentation. Well, I guess first I want to just ask, how did everyone do? Did you practice some of the things that we learned last week, like the EFT tapping that we learned on the meridian points, or the breathing exercise, or did you try out any of the meditations? So if anyone wants to share in the chat, that would be great. Or if anyone had any trouble, anything that we can go over and review from last week, that would be good also. So I'll go ahead and pull the presentation for this week, and then if we get comments and questions, then we'll come back to them. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So so today we're going to, let me put this on presentation mode. There you go. Today we're going to talk about how exercise, good sleep habits, and spending time in nature and using positive affirmations can improve our health and anxiety. And we're going to talk about specific exercises that have study and research behind them to really help reduce anxiety. So let's look at the chat. So someone is sharing that they've completed the breathing exercise, very helpful, especially before bed. Yes, that's such a good idea to do it before bed. And we're also going to talk about yoga today. And I know I feel so good when I do yoga in the evening and include the breathing exercises. And then someone else is sharing that, yes, all those tools are helpful. So I hope that you are not shy and that you are willing to try, especially the breathing and the tapping, because they can work very fast. And the tapping on the meridians that we talked about, it's a little bit different if you've never heard about it, or if you're not familiar with Chinese medicine and the different meridian points on the body. So I really encourage you to try the tapping exercises. I sent you an additional quick video with Nick Arthur yesterday, and I hope that you at least start using some of the videos that he has that I shared with you from him, because you can just follow along. Let's see, Amanda's been doing the breathing work for the last, you've been doing it for the last year, so you're staying with it. That's great, Amanda. So good to hear that. So some of the things that people don't realize is that it's good when we put everything together. So as we're going through these 4 sessions, and I'm going to add a few more things today, it's so important to realize that the more of these habits we adapt, like the better eating, a cleaner diet, maybe taking some of the teas, maybe using some of the supplements that we talked about, and then doing these breathing exercises, tapping. I also shared with you an exercise about emotional releasing, how to write down your emotions from times when you felt hurt or sad, or different events that were challenging for you, writing down those emotions, doing that exercise. So when we add everything together, all of a sudden people realize that, wow, this is really starting to feel better and better. So another person said, me too, slow transitions. Yes. So it's okay to start slow, but the important thing is to keep going and keep learning and keep applying some of these tools. And the more you do it, the more results you're going to get. So, you know, if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting, right? So the only way we can create change if we actually adapt some of these new concepts, some of these new habits, and start practicing them. So let's go into today's session. So people with anxiety can benefit from exercises, especially the type of exercises such as yoga and Tai Chi. And these exercises are so beneficial, and partly is because, well, first of all, they involve a lot of stretching. Our nerves, you know, anxiety and feeling anxious has a lot to do with the nervous system. Well, so many of our nerves are along our back, along our spine, and the back of the legs, and also in the front of the body. So when we're doing these exercises that include a lot of stretching, especially like yoga and Tai Chi, they also help to relax the nerves. And when we stretch the muscles, you know, when we are anxious or stressed, our muscles really contract and they get really tight. So when we're doing these exercises, it's almost like getting a massage, because you are stretching those muscles, you are stretching the nerves, which in turn will promote relaxation. And when we add, so some of these exercises, especially the yoga and Tai Chi, they both include breathing. So when you breathe and you stretch and you relax the muscles all at the same time, you're getting a very enhanced kind of relaxation. So I'm going to share with you a video that is yoga for beginners that I use. So let me look at the chat really quick. Caitlin said, working on breathing exercises helped me with my confidence. That's great, Caitlin. And have been able to leave the house. Yay, that's such a good news. I'm so happy to hear that, because sometimes we don't realize how hard it is for some people. Their anxiety is keeping them from things, from going to see people they love or doing things they enjoy, and simple things like going outside. And she said, I went to a job interview and used these techniques. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. They work so well. And she got the job. Oh my goodness, that's just amazing. I'm so happy to hear that, Caitlin. That is just excellent. Good for you. This stuff is really life-changing, and that's why I'm so excited to be teaching this class for you, and to share some of these tools and techniques, because it can really be life-changing for people. And that's what it's all about, is if we can make a little bit of a difference in someone else's life, everything is better. And then Aaron said, thank you for the materials and the help, because it really is helping to keep calm and not be in fear. Yes, I'm so glad that it's helping you, Aaron. Wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to share with you the video that I like to use for yoga. And some of you might have used yoga before. And for some of you, it might be, you might never have tried it. Maybe you never tried it because it's intimidating or it looks really hard. And I want to say that I used to go to, so I like to go to a gym to exercise, and I also like to do a lot of things in nature. But yoga is one of those things that I did in a class for years in the past, and I enjoyed it, but my time is really limited. So something that I do is I go to the gym to do weights, and I go to the gym to do Zumba because I love to dance to Latin type of music. And I don't have time to also make it to the yoga classes anymore. So I do yoga at home, and I looked for a really simple video that I can do at least 3 times a week. That's not going to take me a long time. And I found that this 17-minute yoga video, and I'm gonna kind of let it play in the background so you can kind of see the moves. I'm not going to put the sound, and then I'm going to talk about other things, but I just wanted you to get a sense of what this video looks like and this routine. So let's see, there we go. Okay, now I'm not going to share the sound, like I said, so you're just going to see kind of the moves.
Throat as you exhale. The outflow of your breath is.
So, make it bigger. There we go. So what I really like about this exercise, I just want to double check. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I muted the video.
Yeah, we can hear you, Otilia.
We sure can.
And you can see the 2 people in the video?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay. So one of the reasons I wanted to share this one is because they have 2 people. So you can see that the lady, the female, is doing a little bit more like medium speed, and then the gentleman is doing a slower pace. So if you've never done yoga before, I suggest you try following the gentleman, because he does kind of a modified version of the different moves. And sometimes when you start a new exercise, even if it looks really easy, it can actually be harder than you think. Like you might feel, stressed, or I'm sorry, you might feel a little bit sore the next day, and that's perfectly normal. But we don't want to overdo it. We want to just start slowly and progress. So because if we do it too fast, then we don't want to get injuries. And so you see how there's a difference in she's doing the down dog, and then he is doing a modified version. So I really, really like this because it's so simple. They also talk. So there's a voice in the background that's talking while they do the different moves. So, once you do it a few times and you know what the different moves are called, just hearing the voice asking you to move to the next exercise, it's helpful. So you don't have to constantly look at your computer screen or whatever you're using, a tablet or a phone. So anyway, so this is kind of how they do these simple moves, and they look like stretches, but let me tell you, it really engages the muscles, especially in the thighs. It really, and the core, like our abdominal muscles. These exercises are very, very engaging. They do a lot of breathing, they do a lot of stretching. So I think you're gonna like it. And it's simple and quick. Arnie said, I can attest to this personally. I have started doing yoga like this. It is not as easy as it looks. Thank you, Arnie. Yes, it's so true. And then Aaron also said that the exercises that he did helped him to express himself more and not hold anything back, and allowing him to speak out and find his inner self and allowing me to be me. Oh, I love that, Aaron. Thank you for sharing. Oh, he said, thank you for the materials and the help because it really helped. Yeah, we said, I read those too. So I hope that seeing this video kind of helps you get an idea of how simple these exercises are and how gentle they are. You know, just finding, they have beautiful, relaxing music in the background, just so you know. And it was created by the Chopra Center Healing Center in San Diego. This is a center that I visited a few years ago, and they have some wonderful practitioners there, and a spa and yoga classes. So I attended some in person, but when I saw that they created this video free online, I thought, you know, this is a good one to try. So I hope that you're going to give it a try. So I will go ahead and pause, and we'll talk more about I wanted to also pull, I'm just going to read, I included a lot of different articles for you. So let me see here. My screen gets stuck sometimes. This time I emailed all the links to the articles that I'm discussing, and we might not get to all of them, but I wanted you to have them. So there was an article that I sent to you in the email today with the PowerPoint that was from Psychology Today, and it talked about some of the benefits of yoga. So I'm just going to read a couple of excerpts from it, a couple of paragraphs, but they talk about, the article is written by this medical doctor, James Lake, MD, and he's writing about how yoga reduces anxiety in his patients, especially people with hypertension, and even things like illnesses like epilepsy. It lowers the level of anxiety during test taking in some studies that they did. So I can definitely tell you that for me, I went back to school to get my doctorate when I was older, like in my 40s. And initially I was very, very anxious of taking tests, and yoga and breathing has really, really helped me to just get over that fear. And so I can see where this study is, it's really true. There's also some evidence that yoga regular practice reduces the need for conventional prescription medications, especially in anxious patients, he says. And findings of, in some other studies, they found that regular practice of yoga and breathing along with it reduces symptoms of severity of patients diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder. So we know that many people that feel anxiety, they can also have obsessive compulsive disorder. I know for me, I thought this was just my personality, but when I was going through a difficult time where my anxiety was really acting up, I couldn't go to bed until like all the dishes were washed, everything was like perfect in the house. It used to keep me up at night. So I can definitely say I no longer have that symptoms, and I think that's a symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder or a minor version of it. So I definitely remember having those types of feelings where everything had to be just in place, everything had to be in order, easily irritated, things like that. So yoga has helped me so much to just feel more relaxed, not worry about little things. But again, I've done a lot of the other things that we're talking about, you know, like the nutrition and the tapping and releasing trauma and exercising regularly and things like that. So he is also talking about how over the years he has worked with many anxious and chronically stressed patients who have benefited greatly from regular practice of yoga and other mind-body techniques, to the extent that some have been able to significantly reduce and in some cases discontinue prescription medications. I often encourage patients who are interested in mind-body approaches to find either a yoga instructor or some kind of yoga program that they begin and they follow regularly. So this is something I strongly encourage you. You know, it's something I've tried and I practice on a regular basis, and I strongly encourage you to give it a try. Let me just check if there are any other things in the chat. Oh, thank you, Sophia, for adding the article link. Wonderful. So Jeanette says that she's been doing yoga for 5 years now, and it was hard at first, but got easier for me. Yes, it helped her a lot with her anxiety, especially when it comes to panic attacks. Yes, the breathing techniques helped with that as well. So I'm so glad to hear, Jeanette, that you're doing yoga on a regular basis and it's helping you. Caitlin is asking, is yoga more effective than talk therapy? Well, it's different. I think, you know, some people may need talk therapy, and that can be very beneficial as well. But it's kind of the combination of different things, and you might need different things at different times. I know for me, you know, a few years ago, I had some really difficult things that I had to deal with. Like my father was hit by a car and died very unexpectedly. So that was a very stressful event. So I went to talk therapy to be able to, you know, get to kind of get those some of that grief released and be able to talk about my feelings, because talking about our emotions can really help to kind of get them off our chest. So yes, talk therapy can be very beneficial. You might not need it all the time. And then a yoga practice is something that you don't need anything other than, you know, a tablet or a computer to use this video or something, some other video maybe that you want to practice. And then Aaron is asking, is this video going to be shared? Yes, I already emailed you right before the class, Aaron. And if you scroll down in the email, you're going to see a link to the 17-minute yoga video. So I already shared it with you. It's also embedded in the PowerPoint presentation that I sent. And Sophia, if you could put the video link in the chat, so Aaron could grab it from there.
Oh, Atilia, it'll also be part of the description once this video is uploaded to YouTube.
Yes. Thank you, Arnie, for saying that. So Arnie has been recording these sessions and then uploading them to YouTube. So you already received part 1 and part 2. And when you open those replay videos that I email you, all the links are there in the description, the articles and the videos. So, and for this one and Thursday's recording, Arnie said he would have them Thursday, probably afternoon or evening. So I'll get those out to you guys.
Yes, both those episodes, both parts 3 and 4 this week, will be uploaded and ready for viewing at 6 p.m. on Thursday night.
Perfect. Thank you, Arnie. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay. So we already talked about the yoga, and now go ahead and go to the next slide. So the next slide, we are talking about exercise. So what are your favorite outdoor activities? So if any of you want to share, what are some of what kind of things do you like doing outdoors? I have a short video that I'm going to share with you on the health benefits of spending time in nature. And then there are 2 articles that I shared in the email that I sent. One of them is called The Mental Health Benefits of Physical Exercise on Anxiety. And then the other one is called 9 Benefits of Spending Time in Nature. Let me look at the chat really quick. Some people are liking walking, especially in the parks and down by the waterfront. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yes. That's my favorite place to go, somewhere by water or somewhere where there's lots of trees. So I'm going to share with you a short video. That's only 5 minutes. Okay. Let me grab that video and do a share again. Okay. Oops, I don't think I did the audio. I want to add the audio this time. Okay, click that, share audio. Okay. Here we go.
This is Dr. Jason West with your daily 5 in 5. 5 daily tips in 5 minutes. Today I'm going to share with you what happens when you spend time outside. So let me ask you a question. If you were told there was a way to elevate your mood, reduce stress, improve your work performance, live longer, and make your workouts feel easy for free, would it seem too good to be true? Well, it's not. The science doesn't lie. Simply spending time outdoors can benefit your body and mind in countless ways. And if you like more information on this video, please like, share so that we can influence and impact more people to be healthy. So check this out. At least 5, but there's probably more than that. We have a list of 8 of scientific things that happen to your brain and your body when you spend time outside. Number 1, your mood gets a boost. Even if you live in an urban setting, consider seeking out some greenery. Stanford researchers recently found that people who spend 90 minutes walking in nature significantly decreased activity in the area of the brains tied to depression, especially those compared to people who walk in a city environment. Other studies show that the Japanese ritual of Shinrin-yoku, also known as forest bathing, is simply the act of spending time in nature, significantly reduces cortisol levels, which are your stress glands, that come to from your adrenal glands, which frankly everybody struggles with. So in other words, simply stepping outside is going to reduce and curb your anxiety. Number 2, your mind feels clear and focused. Between work, our to-do lists, and all the other demands of daily life, it's really easy to lose ourselves in unrelenting brain fog. But research shows that by interacting with nature just for an hour, and that includes just looking at photos of landscapes, we can improve our focus and short-term memory up to 20%. So keep that in mind the next time a big presentation or deadline comes up. Number 3, inflammation starts to ebb away. If the practice of earthing, that is making sure that you have skin to ground contact, seems like something you'd see in a documentary about communes in the 60s, keep in mind that going barefoot has been scientifically shown to relieve pain and inflammation. And studies also show that spending time outside gives the immune system a boost. Number 4, you sleep better. Scientists at the University of Colorado recently confirmed that going camping is a great way to battle insomnia. And that's because sleeping outside basically recalibrates our body's circadian rhythm, or our internal clock. But if spending a weekend in a tent just isn't your thing, keep in mind that just walking barefoot outside for a few minutes can also get you a better night's sleep. Number 5, you begin to think more creatively. There's a reason why Steve Jobs famously said, or took meetings on foot, research shows that walking, especially while exposed to fresh air, stimulates creative thinking and problem solving. So a word to the wise, taking a stroll is great for writer's block. Number 6, exercise feels easier. Yes, I'm serious when I say this. Skip the treadmill and take your run outdoors, and don't be surprised if you hit a personal best. One fascinating study found that a group who hiked for 45 minutes felt more awake, attentive, and less fatigued than a group that walked the same distance on a treadmill inside. So scientists guess that the combination of the dynamic outdoor environment and the sedative effect of nature helps workouts to feel less difficult. Number 7, you can absorb more vitamin D. You see, city dwellers are particularly prone to vitamin D deficiencies, which might manifest like seasonal depression, brain fog, fatigue, lethargy, because sunlight stimulates your body to convert healthy essential fatty acids to cholecalciferol, or vitamin D, and just spending 10 minutes outside, even in the dead of winter, can relieve those symptoms. And number 8, the last one, you can live longer. After observing 108 women over the course of 8 years, Harvard researchers recently found that those who lived in green areas had a 12% lower death rate than those that lived inside. We're not suggesting that you move, city folks, but perhaps you might be inspired to log some regular time outside. So with that in mind, it's time to get outdoors. And don't forget our free Wellness to Wellness live cast Thursday nights with me, Dr. J.
Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed that video. Something that I learned a few years ago, about 15 years ago, that Dr. West talked about is earthing. And there's so much scientific evidence behind this very simple technique, which can include just walking barefoot. So if you've never heard of this concept, there's lots of information online, lots of studies. There's a book called Earthing that was written by a cardiologist here in the Bay Area who has done tons and tons of research. So the benefits of earthing are so amazing, and it's so simple. So the way we can think about it is our bodies were made to connect with the earth on a regular basis. Why is that? Because the earth, the ground, the dirt, the water have something called a negative charge. So they have these negative electrons all over on the surface of the earth that our body needs. So if you've heard the term, like, if you have inflammation, you need to eat more antioxidants. Well, what does the earth have? These negative electrons. The the antioxidants have the same thing, because the antioxidants come from plants that grow in the earth, right? So when we are indoors, and especially when we are around electronics, we have to use these computers to do our work. We have to use phones to communicate. And now we have smartphones that give us some different forms of radiation. Well, these electronics are giving us positive charge, or gives the body a positive charge, and it doesn't mean it's a good thing. These positive charges actually cause inflammation. So in order for our atoms to spin, we need a balance of the positive and the negative. We actually need about 8 electrons and 5 protons, and the protons have the positive charge, and the electrons that come from the earth have the negative charge. So even for, our bodies are made out of atoms. For every atom to spin from left to right, we need this balance. So every time we go in nature and we walk outside, we touch the earth, we touch the plants, even gardening, it's so beneficial because we are connecting to the plants, and the plants have this negative charge. You're getting these negative electrons. So other things, Joy is saying that she's very limited in what she can do outside due to weather and pollen. Is there something I can do instead? Yes, I'm so glad you asked, Joy. So something that I have, that I use, and I've been using for about 15 years, is an earthing sheet. So it's a fitted sheet that goes on the bed. And the website that I use to buy it from is called Grounding Official. That's the website I use to buy, but there's so many different companies that make earthing sheets. If you go on Amazon or just search online, and some of them have different colors, like a beige color or a gray color. The Earthing Official website, most of them are gray, I believe. So what's really neat about these earthing sheets is they sew into the cotton of the sheet these very thin silver lining. And then it has a snap and a thin wire that goes into the electrical outlet, the middle hole. So when you look at your electrical outlet, it has 3 holes, 2 for the things you're going to plug in, like your light or your computer or whatever. And the third one in the middle is the grounding. And most houses will have the electrical panels. Will have a copper wire that goes into the ground to create a grounding for the whole electrical system in your house. And if you don't have that third hole, you can take this grounding wire from the sheet, because it's very, very long. You can take it out the window and put it straight into the dirt if you are at a lower level property. Other than that, you would need to change or update your outlets to be grounded. But most houses built after 1950s are grounded. So that's something. So thank you, Arnie, for including that. Groundingofficial.com. You can look for earthing sheets. Some companies also have grounding mats. So it's like a carbon mat that plugs in. That's really simple. I also use a company called Vibes Up. They have stores in the Sacramento area and by Santa Cruz, but they have a lot of things you can buy online. And they have something called, they have these plate mats that are made out of different stone that absorbs radiation. And they have crystals and something called shungite, which is a stone that comes from Europe, and tourmaline. They also make something called these little pyramids. So I have these pyramids next to my computer, And they even make water bottles with crystals at the bottom and rocks that put these negative ions from the earth into the water. So there are different things you can do. I found that the earthing sheets are the most beneficial because I'm sleeping on this sheet for 8 hours a day, or at night, I should say, for at least 7 to 8 hours. So I'm getting all that negative electrons that come from the earth while I'm sleeping. So some of the things that people will notice is putting our feet on the ground or using an earthing a sheet or a mat or something like that for 30 minutes. They've done studies where they reduce cortisol level 25%, which is the stress hormone. So that is a really, really powerful improvement from just 30 minutes. So imagine if you're able to get something like a sheet or a mat that your skin, so your skin has to come in contact with it. That's how it works. So I hope that that's something you can look into, Joy. And then let me go to the article that I also shared about the benefits of nature. I don't know why. There we go. Sometimes my screen gets stuck. Okay. So I sent you one article that talks about, it's called The Mental Health Benefits of Physical Exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see that as well. There you go. So how mental health benefits can affect, or what benefits we can get from physical exercise. So the first thing here listed is anxiety and stress. Exercise decreases sensitivity to the body's reaction to anxiety. Additionally, it can also help improve or ease symptoms for people that have irritable bowel syndrome. Many people that have anxiety, as I said in the first session, sometimes can have digestion issues or different kind of infections or pathogens. And irritable bowel syndrome is one of those inflammatory digestive conditions that can be connected to maybe like a bacteria like H. pylori bacteria or parasites. But it's wonderful to see that anxiety also improves. I mean, exercise also improves the symptoms of this IBS condition. Exercise, like Dr. West in the video talked about how exercise promotes growth or balance in the brain. So especially the section of the brain that causes depression and anxiety, and it grows new neurons. So that part of the brain is called hippocampus. It also helps with attention deficit disorder. We see this a lot in kids, but also in adults. It helps with depression, panic disorders, PTSD, and just promoting overall well-being. Decreasing the stress hormone cortisol, as I talked about. Physical activity can also distract us from negative thoughts and emotions. That's so true, especially when we are walking. I mean, here in California, we are so blessed to have so many beautiful places outdoors, and we have bodies of water nearby. And so we're really blessed to be able to go to beautiful places that are not too far from us. Also, exercising regularly can promote confidence, and all of that. So, and then they also talk about what types of physical exercises are really helpful. for anxiety and stress, or for mental health in general. And they have here yoga, which decreases, lowers heart rate, lowers blood pressure, improves respiration, reduces the stress response. Remember how we talked about the fight or flight, reducing depression and anxiety, and also just increasing that good feeling of just well-being. They also talk about Tai Chi, and then they talk about aerobic exercise. So it's good to do a combination of things. Like I said earlier, I really enjoy doing a variety of things, and I know for me, going to a class with music that I really enjoy, like Zumba. Let me turn on the light. It's a little bit dark in here. So going to a Zumba class, I do that 3 times a week. I go anywhere between, it's an hour class, but I usually stay between 30 to 45 minutes. And then I do maybe 20 minutes of weights after my class 3 times a week. Then I do walking in nature, especially early in the day. So research is showing that walking outside earlier in the day, especially before 10 a.m., really helps to reset the circadian rhythm. So the circadian rhythm, we talked about sleep. Many of you have sleep issues. So we also are, in order to absorb vitamin D, it needs to be synthesized in the eyes. So our eyes need to receive light. We don't necessarily need to look straight to the sun, but like in the direction. So we're getting light in the eyes. Getting light, early morning light, also really benefits the energy in the cells. So very, very exciting about all the different benefits of being outside in nature and moving and so on. So let me go back to the PowerPoint. I need to go ahead and share again. There we go. So I'll let you take the time to go on to look at the other article, the 9 benefits of spending time in nature. A lot of the things we already discussed. So what's really important is to create a realistic activity plan for you. I'm sharing with you all these different things I'm doing, but if you've never exercised before, set realistic goals, like start with walking 15 minutes a day, then slowly, work up to 30 minutes a day. That can be an okay start. So even if you start slow, it's okay. And then maybe adding the short video of yoga that you do 3 times a week. And maybe you do that in the evening, especially if you find that you get anxious in the evening or you have any trouble sleeping. So having some of these realistic goals is a good thing. So now we're going to talk about getting enough sleep and some ideas of sleep hygiene. And I included an article here called "What is Sleep Hygiene?" And the article goes into more details, but I wanted to focus on some of these top areas that I found very, very helpful to improve my sleep and to be able to fall asleep really fast. So one of the things I notice is when I exercise regularly, because my muscles are tired and I'm out in nature, I fall asleep very, very quickly. A lot of times my husband starts talking to me and I'm just like already out and I don't want anyone talking to me because when I'm tired, I wanna just go to sleep, right? So keeping a consistent sleep schedule is really important. I talked about my dad earlier. Unfortunately, he passed away when he was 78 from an accident, but he was so healthy. He did not take any medications. He was riding his bike every single day, especially after he retired. Sometimes it was for hours. But he always went to bed at the same time. He went to bed at 10 o'clock and got up at 6 o'clock. So he kept a very consistent schedule. So that's something that I try to do. I go to bed about between 10 and 10:15, and I wake up, I have my alarm going at 6:15. So it's really important to have a consistent schedule. If you take naps, it's important to keep them short, no more than 20-30 minutes, because they can really interfere with our sleep. So let me see here in the chat. Oh, thank you, LR. He said, sorry to hear that. Yeah, unfortunately, things can happen with our loved ones. Avoid blue light and screen time before bed. So what is blue light? When we are using these things like tablets, our smartphones, our computers, they create something called blue light, which is really disruptive to the sleep, especially to production of melatonin or release of melatonin. Now, many people don't realize that much of melatonin is actually created in the intestines. So you see how there's all this connection. You know, I talked about how anxiety is also connected to the digestive system, and melatonin is created in the digestive system. So if we really improve our diet, and if we're really clean up and eat better and kind of support our digestive system, we don't just get benefits of less anxiety, but we also get benefits of better sleep, because some of the melatonin is produced in the intestines. Now, also, so the recommendation is that you avoid the blue light at least an hour before bed. So, you know, if you like to read in the evening with the light, it's fine, but not reading on a tablet or looking at the computer. So if we can avoid that at least 1 hour before bed, that's helpful. Keep the bedroom cool. This is something I had to get used to, because my family usually had a very warm, light to warm temperatures, but my husband likes to have cooler temperatures. So I noticed that we have our heat set up between 65 and 68. And once I warm up under the covers, even in the winter, I sleep so much better in the cool. Clear the clutter, especially in the bedroom. Clutter can really contribute to anxiety. So keeping the bedroom kind of organized, especially like getting some sheets. Like for me, it's all about like having a comfortable bed and have a good mattress. So a good mattress, good pillows, and then I have really comfortable cotton sheets. I have the earthing sheet for the fitted sheet, and then I have another cotton sheet for the top sheet, and comfortable pillows. So I always look forward to going to bed, and I make my bed so it's kind of neat, and I kind of enjoy going in the bedroom. So all those little things can make a difference. And then writing down racing thoughts or worries. Sometimes we talked about this when we go to bed, all these thoughts come to our head. And for me, as I shared with you in the first session, that I switched to magnesium L-threonate, that magnesium really helped me with the racing thoughts. So like, I don't have these racing thoughts in the evening anymore. But for people that are dealing with this a lot, you can also have a notebook next to your bed and just writing them down, like get them out of your head. Or sometimes I'll go on a trip and I'm worried about, you know, did I pack this? Did I do that? Did I do that? I don't want to forget this. So sometimes I'll just write them all down. So then I look at it in the morning. Avoid eating or drinking 2 hours before bed. Also avoiding heavy, spicy meals, cutting down on liquids so you don't have to get up and go to the bathroom a lot. Trying a warm bath with Epsom salt. I love doing Epsom salt baths. I put 1 cup of Epsom salt. Sometimes you can buy Epsom salt with lavender and chamomile in it, or I add some drops of lavender and chamomile essential oil. Try relaxing teas like chamomile, kava, passion flower, valerian. And these can also come in herbs. You can also buy these like in a herb pill form to really help to relax you in the evening and fall asleep. Especially like I've tried the valerian and kava. It's so relaxing to help me. If I'm traveling, I take some of those herbs to take before bed. And if you are using melatonin as a supplement, you need to take it 90 minutes before going to bed because it takes a while to get activated. And then diffusing, relaxing essential oils like bergamot, lavender, lime, and frankincense. Those are very helpful and relaxing. And then foods that promote sleep. Oatmeal is actually high in melatonin. So even switching things up, like having oatmeal for dinner, especially until you get into a rhythm of getting better sleep, something to consider. And then rice has a vitamin called thiamine, which is actually B1. And that also is very relaxing. And then bananas and dairy and even turkey has tryptophan, which is another product, or I should say substance that is very relaxing. So I hope these are helpful. Let me go to the next one. Okay. Sometimes, there we go. So the last slide here, I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness and positive self-talk. Here's a book that I highly recommend by Louise Hay called You Can Heal Your Life. And she healed herself from cancer. Of course, she used lots of different therapies that were natural, but she said that I've listened to a lot of her interviews. I believe now she passed away. She was in her 90s, but she wrote this wonderful book called You Can Heal Your Life. And it's kind of like talking about the power of positive affirmations and positive self-talk. I know for me, years ago, when I was very, very stressed and very sick, I wrote a few very powerful positive affirmations that were very specific to what I had going on. So for me, I would say the opposite. So if I was dealing with anxiety, I would say, I am feeling calm and peaceful. If I was not feeling well, I would write, my body is in vibrant health or in perfect health. So here are some examples that she recommends, a list of things that we can read out loud to ourselves on a regular basis. I normally do this in the morning, but you could do it twice a day or whatever you like. But I like to kind of set the tone of the day. And if I say them in the morning, I feel like I feel stronger. I feel just more positive. So some of the things here are, I have value and purpose. I am proud of myself. I am in charge of how I feel. I choose happiness. I am grateful. I am good enough. I have the power to create change. And, you know, some of these things are, like we talked about, you're learning all these things, but sometimes we feel like we don't have the willpower to create the change. And saying those positive affirmations may help you. I have the power to create change, and it's okay to start small. I choose to be calm and at peace. I am responsible for my health and happiness. My happy thoughts help create my healthy body and mind. I am in perfect health. So these are just some wonderful statements that you can use. Oh, we have one person that just ordered it. Oh, I love it, from Amazon. You guys are just so on top of it. I am so proud of you. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, and I just want to stay a little bit longer to answer questions. But I really hope that you get inspired to try some of these new things. Let's see, we have a question here or a comment. Kalina says, that is the hardest part, is the willpower to use the tools, especially the exercises. Yes. So maybe you just start with the affirmations. you know, and maybe you start by spending some time outside in the morning. I think that it's okay to start slow, but you know, the fact that, I mean, just the fact that you sign up for this class tells me that you're ready for change, Kalina. And I know that we covered a lot of things, and it's okay if it takes your time and you just start incorporating small steps, you know. But the more things you try, the better you're going to feel, and the more you're going to want to try. And especially when you're in a group environment like this, where we're sharing and we're kind of all rooting for you and sending you positive thoughts. I really want us all to send positive thoughts to Kalina so she can have willpower, but also to everyone here participating. Just having those positive thoughts that, and if you believe in prayers, you know, using prayer to help every single person here to be able to start making some of these changes and not be afraid to try new things, because some of us are having harder time than others, and that's okay. So a lot of people are sending positive thoughts to Kalina. So thank you, Kalina, for sharing. Do any of you have any other questions about the information we shared today, or anything else that has come up for you? So something else I wanted to just mention is that the last session on Thursday is we're going to spend some time on hacks. So I'm going to tell you like my fastest shortcuts, some of the things that have helped me the most and helped people that I know to manage anxiety or to stop anxiety. Other things I'm going to share is I want to spend some time on troubleshooting with you. So feel free to email me in advance if you're having certain challenges, or maybe you tried some of these things and you are getting stuck, or you're not sure about something. Let's talk about some of your greatest challenges, and then we can all try to help each other and be able to help you work through some of those challenges. Someone wrote in, the other day, my heart felt like it was being squeezed after getting really stressed. Hearing this crazy guy yelling when I was at work. Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that. I ended up walking away and going to take some fresh air. Oh, that's so wonderful. Luckily, I had the chance to. Yes, I'm so glad, LR, that you had the chance to get away and from that crazy situation and take a few breaths and being outside. And sometimes that's what we have to do. If we're in a stressful situation, we have to walk away. So also I want to make sure that Arnie is taking attendance. I want to make sure that if your profile doesn't say your name, that you include your name in the chat. Good thing he wasn't yelling at me. Yes, LR, I'm glad he wasn't yelling at you.
Yeah, thank you, Atilia. I do need full names so that I can give credit for, especially for the name drawing at the end of the class.
Yeah, so if you guys, if your full name is not in your Zoom profile, please include your full name, so to make sure that we give you credit for the drawing, because the list I have has your full names, so we'll match to make sure that your full name are in here. So I strongly encourage you to try out some of these things, especially like simple things like putting your feet on the grass or on the ground, you know, like even like if you have a backyard or if you're outside. So cement works, dirt works, grass works, water works. Wood is not conductive to negative electrons. So like if you have a deck, a wooden deck would not work. But if you can put your feet on cement, on dirt, in water, on grass, you're going to get those wonderful benefits of earthing that we talked about. And Aaron said he attended all 4 sessions. Great. All 3. Sorry, we had only 3 so far. And I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It's Siobhan. Thank you for attending all 3. Well,
That's Siobhan.
Siobhan. Oh, I love that. That's such a nice name. Siobhan. It just flows. So thank you, everybody. It's Irish. Cool. Very cool. So thank you for attending. If you have any last minute questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, I strongly encourage you to be out in nature this coming week or this week. And going forward, really making a point to go early in the day. Even if you only have 5-10 minutes, some of the research I heard that even 10 minutes with our eyes in morning light can make such a big difference, especially in melatonin production and calming of the brain, the section of the brain that causes more stressful events and anxiety. So I know it sounds simple. And sometimes people, especially when I talk to people about the benefits of earthing, they have such a hard time imagining that it's going to make such a big difference because it's so simple. For example, there's studies on people that have autoimmune conditions such as arthritis or very chronic conditions that have significant improvement on just by putting their feet on the ground or sleeping on the earthing sheet. There's also a website called earthing.com. They don't have sheets anymore, but they have mats. And then they have these wristbands that you can put. I find it a little bit difficult because you're kind of connected to a wire when you're sleeping. And I don't want anyone to kind of get tangled or hurt themselves. But if you don't want to be outside and you're reading a book and you're relaxing and you can connect through like a wristband that can be plugged in, that's an option too from this other company called earthing.com. So please look into that. Look into more research on earthing, because I know for me, I have a back issue that I had since I was young. And it's significantly improved my back pain since I've been sleeping on the earthing sheet. So, and then women and men who have hormonal issues, it's significantly improved my hormones. It's balanced my thyroid. I actually was taking thyroid medication before I had an earthing sheet, and I had to cut my medication and first I had to reduce them in half. And then eventually my doctor took me off the medication because my thyroid regenerated just from sleeping on the earthing sheet and, changing my lifestyle. So one thing to know about, if you are taking medications that are blood thinning, like blood pressure medications or different blood thinning medication, even thyroid medication, once you start earthing, especially using the sheet, your medication may need to be adjusted, because the earthing has such a powerful healing benefits. It actually thins out your blood naturally. Our blood should not be very thick. It should be not very thin, but a normal viscosity, right? So if we're taking some medications that are blood thinning and we're also using an earthing sheet that thins the blood naturally, it can cause too much thinning. So your medication may need to be adjusted, like I had to with my thyroid, but it has such a powerful effect that I've had friends who were taking herbs for their blood pressure, and they had to even get off the herbs because the earthing sheet was working so well. So that's important to know as well. Okay, well, thank you so much for everyone who've added their name in here. and for your comments. Siobhan says that these classes have been so great. So I'm so glad, Siobhan, that it's helping you. And all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you all for sharing, and go out there and keep trying to add more of these habits into your life, and you're going to start to just feel better and feel stronger, get your immune system up, and get a lot of wonderful benefits. So take care, everyone. Thank you, Arnie and Sophia, for helping as well. Bye-bye. I will talk to all of you on Thursday.